This institute was established in 1997 from the International Agreement on the Convention on the Rights of the Child and is a national academic institute committed to creating innovations and cooperation in developing and protecting children, youth, and families, leading to a just and sustainable society.
In reality, this institution is part of MING, Mahidol University, equivalent to a faculty. We also adapt to changes in human society. When the world changes, like with social and economic issues, technological advancements, and changes in family dynamics and living conditions, we create knowledge that aligns with these global changes. Therefore, knowledge should be consistent with development approaches.
Create research and innovation to develop human potential and shape future citizens from the beginning of their lives by passing on knowledge and supporting them to become citizens who are aware of their responsibilities towards themselves, society, and the environment, and see their importance. Towards sustainable development and reducing social inequalities in Thai society, the Institute offers master's degree programs, and with 3 programs from the master's degree programs in higher education, the Institute has expanded its knowledge base. With a focus on continuous and lifelong learning, the Institute has created a life design course for undergraduate students as an elective course. This allows students to apply their knowledge of child and family development in their daily lives. Additionally, the institution features an innovative learning model with 4 hybrid classrooms, a pre-skill and upskill vocational program, and a free education market for continuous lifelong learning in the form of a learning network. For the development of children and families, the head of the Research Center for Enhancing Safety emphasizes that it needs to be continuous. Starting from the studies, we see that the impact and sources are significant as the institution has implemented important national policies from the university to create ongoing social change. All of this, the institution cannot move forward steadily without support from the public and various sectors which act as partners in the development process. This includes the strength of the personnel within the institution who work together and unite their efforts to ensure the institution can progress sustainably.
Good morning, everyone, who are participation online and on-site. My name is Thirarat Songmyeong. I am International Relations Officer and to be an MC for today's event. On behalf of the National Institute for Child and Family Development, Mahidol University, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the today program. Before we begin, I would like to inform our Thai participants that Thai interpretation service is available via Zoom. If you wish to use the interpretation, please select the interpretation button at the bottom of your Zoom screen and choose Thai language. Thank you. Today officially begin today's program. It is my great honor to invite Dr. Chatchai Im-Alom, Deputy Director for International Relations of the National Institute for Child and Family Development to deliver the welcome speech. Please welcome Dr. Chatchai.
Sawasdee krab. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining today. It's a great pleasure to have you all here, either online and on-site. And we're here with our speaker today, Ms. Ekeoma Ekemleme. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Oh, this is a sign that I'm good. Who is the founder of EGE Creatives, and the topic will be about something that is very important for today, the adverse childhood experience. But also we are going to talk about the intervention, how the family can work with them, and how to prevent and also how to secure them for the better life. All right, I guess there will be some other presentation as well from our work, right? Okay, I will hand this microphone back to Ms. Thirarat just to continue our schedule. Thank you very much for joining today.
Thank you, Dr. Chatchai, for the warm welcome. Next, we will have a presentation on the institute work related to adverse childhood experience. Now, may I invite our researcher, Ms. Kanitporn Utumporn, to present their work. Please welcome her.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and warmly welcome with AQO. No? Okay. Warmly welcome to Thailand, and let me introduce myself. My name is Kanitporn Utumporn. You can call me Mink. I am a research fellow, and I am also the master degree student of Innovation for Child and Family Protection, National Institute for Child and Family Development, Mahidol University. Today, I will present about the project. The project, this is about the development of an integrated healthcare system for children with adverse childhood experiences in the community. If you have any question during my presentation, please feel free to ask me after the presentations. To begin, I would like to introduce to the background of this issue. The Child Safety Promotions and Injury Prevention Research Center, that is organization through research and education center to work about the prevention child injury and promote safety through the activity, study, training, and public health awareness. That is about the safety focus on program. In mostly we focus on program to the childhood, but after we are studying it about for a while, is what find that factor contribution to injury in children. After them stem from the caregiver or family behavior. The result from the neglect and lack of attention and the transmissions of the leaks behavior from generation to generation. And however, many people, when after that we focus on the family, we found the family has a significant impact on the child development. Some children never get hurt or accident injury because they got a positive parenting. But however, in Thailand, they have many children are less on the negative parenting, which we call ACE. In Thailand, we are meaning about the adverse childhood experience, include family that dysfunction, such as the parental separation or divorce, household substance abuse, household mental illness, incarcerated household member or domestic violence, and the size of the family dysfunction is a child's maltreatment, such as emotional abuse, physical abuse, emotional neglect, physical neglect, and social abuse. Supporting family is not easy to solve because the family cannot address this issue on their own, and it's necessary to integrate a support system in community. When the community work together with a strong and supportive system, family get better parenting that affect to the children. As a result, children can grow up healthy, develop positive parenting and behavior, and become to the good citizen in the society. In this project, we fund from the Thai Health Organization, and there are also collaboration between CCIF and ICFD. The objective of the project are the first one to develop a health information system and ACE screening. Two, we will if approved to the development system, including implementations team, guideline, and supporting mechanism. And the last one, we would like to dive the policy implementations and like the public's awareness. And in this project, we was a pilot in 4 provinces, such as Nan, Amnachalerm, Samut Prakan, and Bangkok's province. For ACE screening, we will use the tool that is named MUMDP ACE 01 screening questionnaire, which was development from the NICFD, and we will try out in this project. The questionnaire have a 2 version. The version in blue color is about the children age 6 months to over 7 years. This questionnaire is about the basic information, is about the family dysfunction, poverty, and also parenting. And the version in pink color is about the pregnancy woman. We focus on the family dysfunction questionnaire. From the screening, ACE screening in our 4 pilot area, we will find about 14% children have ACE. When we look about the result of the province, when we analyze some East province, we will see Amnachalerm province that is very highest rate ACE of each area. When we analyze it, aspect on the 10. From the ACE screening, we will make a type of the true function that is make the ACE. We focus on the family dysfunction. We will see the parental separation or divorce. That is the highest factor. And when we see the child maltreatment, we will see the graph that is increased from the physical neglect, emotional neglect, and the highest is physical abuse. Our progress can be seen in the diagram that show in your slide. And the project implement, we will use 6 main steps. I will explain each step in the next slide. To build an integrated team, we will include various important organizations in the province, including healthcare provider, social government agencies, school and education, and in this project, we will include community-driven approach such as the community level, village health volunteer, and youth volunteer to join in this program. This is an integrated team in our 4 provinces. There are important persons because very person to move or drive in this project in the area, and we will believe that we have a team strong. It can be made to work easily and quality. In the ACE screening process, the first step we will preparing about the team to how to use the questionnaire and communication guideline. It can be make sure we have a skill to screening in a ACE student, and after that we are screening in the student in 1 sub-district per 1 province. After receiving the information, we will give the information to plan to intensive home visit to study to each other need and the problems for the special home. And then we will give the information to make an individual care plan and give an intervention for some people or intervention for the project in the approve or the make the people better. And then we promote and follow up and monitoring to the surveillance. In emergency case situation like this, father was violent family member, and he also locked the children in the room almost 2 hours. And then grandmother called education team to help them. The operations was complete in 20 minutes because we have mechanism to systematically plan implementations and monitoring. In the term of the program interventions of the parents, that is include program that's from the promote in the positive parenting program, nurturing care program, and activity related to increase quality time in the family. In the size of the children, we will giving a program because the children is mostly to be effective in terms of the social and emotional skill. We will offer about the art and music and some physical exercise to them because we will development active, and we will development some skill that is important to them. In addition, we have skill training program for community-based care of children with ACE, such as the training about ACE child care to the health village volunteer, to healthcare provider, to teacher, and to external individual that interested in our program to make a children care from communities. And other interventions, we have a special clinic for ACE students because when we screening about ACE students, they have some problem of development. We will screen and stimulation and follow up development for ACE. In the terms of the health data recording for ACE students, actually the first one we have to recording data in the HOS XP CPU at primary healthcare center, but it is limit from the healthcare provider. Then we will develop a web application to recording and planning individual care plan, which one can be able to use for the integrated team. And the last one, we recording about the information ACE because we want to link in the child protection service in Bangkok. And then we put the information in ACE in app Term Tem. We enhance to child protection in the Bangkok process. And the last process, we had to present about the project's outcome to write the public awareness. And both of the sites in provincial and national level contributing to policy advocacy to address ACE relating among the children in community. And this model can be able to use to other area because we don't want to leave anyone behind and let kids and moving together. That is concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, our research fellow, Ms. Kanitporn Utumporn Fair, for sharing this valuable insight. Now we come to the highlight of today's program. It is my great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Eke Oma, founder and lead consult EDE Creative from the United States of America. Today, Ms. Eke Oma will deliver a lecture entitled Trauma-Informed Early Childhood Intervention, Family System and Parent Engagement. Please join me to give a warm welcome to Ms. Eke Oma.
I speak loudly. I don't know if I need the microphone. Can I put it down? Oh, we have to. All right. All right. Sawadee ka. Hello. How is everybody? Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about this opportunity. So first, I wanted to start with, this is a conversation. I don't want to talk at you. I want to hear your input. I'm going to ask questions. We are going to have conversation. Even just where did she go? She did such an awesome job. And one of the things about the ACEs is so important, adverse childhood experiences. Things that occur, things that happen when children are young have long-lasting effects on our development. Even as we get older, there are higher prevalence of heart disease and other types of diseases, and just because of the ACEs experienced at younger ages. So, are we good? All right. Oh. All right. So, where did it go? Okay, there we go. So this is why we're here. We're going to talk about the shared learning exchange. Again, not just me talking to you. I want to learn from you. The one thing about Thailand is this is my second time here. And the one thing I love about Thai people, you guys are so chill. Like warm and welcoming. And with that understanding, it may be a cultural exchange. We come from different cultures, different backgrounds. So it's important that I learn from you as well, okay? All right, before we even start, I want to give you some time, reflect on this question, these two questions. Where do families most often show strength in your context? Where do families most often need emotional or buffering support? Think about the children that you work with or that you encounter. Just take a few seconds just to ponder on those questions. And welcome to the people on Zoom. Hello. And these questions are for you too. Now, is there an opportunity for people to chime in for questions? Will it show up here if they have questions? The people from Zoom?
I think it's possible. Probably they type it in the.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So also with this presentation, anyone on Zoom, if you have questions, anything to chime in, please type it in. I want to hear from you all as well. And you don't have to wait, put your hand up, just jump in, ask questions. All right. So a little bit about me. Akoma Ekaleme. I'm from Philadelphia, in the United States. I currently work as an early intervention specialist. So is anyone familiar with the term early intervention? So, and you may have it here and it may be called something different back home. So I work with children and families who are thought to have developmental delays. I am the multidisciplinary evaluator. So let's just say a pediatrician or a family member calls the city and says, hey, I have a child who is 2 years old and they're not talking. We want to get them evaluated to see if they are be eligible to get services. They may need some, special services. I am one of a small team in Philadelphia who conducts these evaluations to determine eligibility to receive services. So once I have the child, I get, have my assignments and I meet with the families. I'm talking with the families about the background. I'm covering all of developmental areas, cognitive development, physical development, speech, language, and communication, social and emotional development. All of those things we are talking about, and I have my assessment tool that we use as standardized testing. And then we'll say, based on the scores, if this child is eligible to receive services, and what services can we put in? Will we put in a speech and language pathologist? Will we put in a physical therapist? Will we put in someone to work with behaviors in the developmental area? So that's what I do in my field. And after we do the services, then it kicks out to the therapist, and they are working with the families. So in early intervention, the key point for birth to 3, I work in a birth to 3 area, is that it's a parent coaching model. We use a parent coaching model. So let's just say for that example, a child has communication challenges, and then we put in a speech therapist. The speech therapist won't go to the home and just work with the kid by themselves. The speech therapist is going to go to the home and practice with that parent. Oh, when Susie does this, then you respond this way. This is also an opportunity to pick up other challenges that may be going on. So again, in a situation, and I've had this several times in my career, if a child comes in, again, 2 years old, the child is not talking. The child may have some behavioral issues. Has anyone experienced that? Okay, so a trained person can say, a novice person can say, oh, that child is bad. Oh, he hits all the time. I don't know what's going on. But in essence, maybe it could be some hearing going on. One of my top questions is, has the child had a history of ear infections, colds, upper respiratory challenges going on? Because sometimes that child may not be hearing properly. That child, if you have fluid in your ears, you go to the pediatric office, They're looking in their ears. They're looking for some redness. They're just checking out the surface, but they can't see what's going on back there, right? So we recommend them to see an audiologist or an ear, nose, and throat doctor to determine if there's any blockages. And sometimes there are some blockages or something going on where that child is not able to hear. So number one, the child is not able to hear, so the child can't communicate. So Susie can hear, Susie, go get your shoes. But if Susie does not hear that clearly enough, she's not able to replicate the sounds. Therefore, the speech can come out or may not have speech or may come out jumbled. The other issue is a lot of times we have behavior challenges behind that. Again, if that child is in daycare and the child doesn't have the words, like adults, we could say, give that to me, stop, I don't want that. But if you don't have the words, it comes out as what? Aggression. I'm going to hit. This is how I communicate. So just in essence, how it's important to understand the physical attributes that goes into all the areas of development for a young child. They can't tell us. We have to investigate. So other than that, I have just my background, education background. I have my first master's degree in administration, and I went back and I had my second master's degree in the area of special education. And currently I'm in my doctoral program, and my area is prevention science. So in the area of prevention science is really going back to the ACEs, going back to developmental challenges that children may have. Instead of working with the children after it happens, let's try to prevent it. Let's try to learn how to navigate the system within a child's development and make sure that it doesn't go into further challenges, okay? So pretty much that's what I do in a nutshell. And I'm happy to hear, I'm here with my son, Sundiata. He's a university student, a senior in university, and you'll hear from him a little later. But again, thank you so much. All right, so this is a positioning from the lens. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. I want you to talk to me. I want to learn from you. So even in the system, what I discussed about early intervention in Philadelphia or in Pennsylvania, it is different states have different services. Even in the realm of early intervention, systematically, for Pennsylvania, when families receive early intervention services for just that state, and a few other states, but not all of them have that, parents don't pay. This is a free service. You can get the speech therapist and the physical therapist. You don't have to go through your private insurance. It is free to you. Other states, maybe the state right next to Pennsylvania is New Jersey. New Jersey, however, has a different system where parents have to pay a copay. So it's just a difference within the systems. So, you know what, before I go on, in Ming's presentation, in the beginning, she noted it was a province that had a lot higher prevalence of ACEs. I wanted to ask her, can somebody speak to that? Why would that be? It was really high for that one province. Can someone speak to that for me? You are going to talk to me. No.
What
So
question again? I'm not sure.
So Mink had one of her in
The
her
presentation, yeah.
and she was talking about the numbers of ACEs.
Yeah.
And there was a few different provinces, and then Bangkok was a little higher, and then it was the last province. I don't remember. I couldn't pronounce the name.
Yeah.
It was really, really high. And I was wondering, like, why would that be? I'm really just curious.
I'm not sure because sometimes the perception, for example, the perception of what happening, the questionnaire itself could be the tools, could be the perception, could be how to say, in each area, they have different, different environment. Let's say in the rural part of Thailand, there might have been a very chill society, like environment, like not so rushed, not so competitive, and very supportive family because they are living together in a big family, living next to each other. So probably that is also the reason why there's pretty low ACEs. But also compared to some other areas, could be like living in the bigger city
Right.
where they have less, like more like isolated family. So they have no support, no one else to back them up, and very, let's say, higher cost of living. So it's more stress to the family, and they might have to migrate into some other area as well. So lots of things that could happen to that family. That is also why the rates of the ACEs among them could be totally different.
Thank you. Thank you. That makes sense. I was wondering when she said that, I was like, the gap was really, really high. Hey, that was your question. All right. So even if we're talking about different countries, different culture, different ways of life, what still remains the same? The children, it's important. We need to have buffering systems for the children. It doesn't matter where you're from. It is when a child needs assistance socially and emotionally, we have to buffer that. And I think the hardest part about that is understanding and learning where that comes from, not being able to identify what's going on. I think that's for me too. Even it's an investigation sometimes. Try to figure out what's going on with the family, higher stress levels, parental separation, like Ming mentioned. All of those things plays a part. So the foundations of early childhood development. Development happens with relationships. The child's first interactions are with the parents, with the families, or whoever who are raising the children. We have to have the emotional supports available for them. That just can't be understated. When the brain develops, even in utero, there is so much that goes on. By the time the child is delivered, they are hearing your voice. They are feeling your stress. They are eating your food. They have preferences. They are blinking their eyes. Their brain synapses are going like crazy. So many connections are being built. This goes on through age 3. Between the ages of birth and 3 is the most powerful. That's when it's going. So it's very important that we are addressing the children, as far as families go. Now, how infants experience the world. Now, I need you guys to chime in with me. Now, just like I'm gonna say sensory and relational, tone, face, give me some examples, just spit it out. How do babies interact with you, or how they experience the world?
They usually learn from the caregivers,
Mm-hmm.
they experience with you together. Let's say if you don't talk to them, there's no one to talk to them. Let's say that's the simplest way. And they learn through the interaction. Yes. If you just, let's say, like we still have the orphanage houses here
Yes.
in Thailand. So I've been there so many times, and then I saw myself that most of them do not have the interactions. That is why it causes them to delay in terms of development. And so, yeah, so they learn by experiencing through the caregivers. And yes, that I think that's the most important thing for them.
Absolutely. Anyone else? I'm going to start picking on people. Give me an answer. Someone else, give me an answer.
Parents or caregiver
Mm-hmm. Reaction.
for example, sometimes some infants learn, oh, my parents feel worried or anxious when the infants do something.
One second, say what? I want you to say that one more time with the microphone. Wait. Get
And
wait.
It's not long enough.
Oh,
okay, yes.
Okay, thank you. I think infants can learn from
their parents or caregiver reaction. For example, when the infants age around 6 to 8 months, sometimes they observe how parents or caregiver respond. Is sometimes they might feel anxious. That's why they learn from the parents or caregiver reaction, and so that's why they can they can learn from their caregiver experience, and it affect to their perception in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. So what we're talking about is serve and return. Absolutely. What we are talking about is serve and return. You guys just said it perfectly. So when babies are just born, what do? Cry. That's how they get their needs met. So it's serve and return, like tennis. So the baby serves. I'm crying. I'm distraught. And the parent returns. What's the matter? Let me hold you. Let me feed you. Let me change you. Serve and return. So the children would give it to you and not. So I apologize, sir. Your name again. Tight. So what he mentioned about if you have a child who is giving you some angst, they're not feeling protected, and the parent, they're not receptive, they're not giving the return. What does it make the child feel? Then it makes the child feel uncertain. When I reach out for assistance, I am not going to get it. Imagine how that sets up in a child's development as they grow, and if it continues. Okay, so serve and return. Adult responds warmly. So if the child, and we saw this outside, even with the older kids this morning, and it's like the child smiles and you smile back, it makes them feel good. It's a serve and return. It goes throughout the ages, but more prevalent, more important, those birth to 3 ages. We want to respond appropriately, not even just physically, like, okay, you're crying, I'm going to feed you. If you're upset, we want to do that with the social interactions. Let's sing a song. Let's bounce a hand. Like, you want to do that back and forth. And again, some of those examples, smiling back when a baby smiles, imitating the coos and the babbles, naming the feelings. So if a child is around 2 years old, they're a little bit more, they understand more, 2 to 3 years old. And it is when they're upset. You name the feeling. Are you sad? Did you want that toy? Are you hungry? And again, I loved when I saw the classroom. It was a social and emotional classroom I saw in the center. And the children drew the faces, and I saw a collage with a face and blue tears that a child drew. And I was just like, wow, we want to extend. That's how they learn as well. You identify how they're feeling. You are co-signing that, like, you're okay, just go over there. No, you want to, okay, I understand. Let me help you. That figures out in that child's development, in their brain. So children experience stress differently. Let me see. Children experience stress differently. When we have stress, how does it look like for adults? How does it look? Painful. In what way? In what way? Daily activities that affect you. If you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling sad and upset, there are things that you don't want to do that you would normally want to do. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go outside anymore. I'm feeling bad. Sometimes it actually has a physical effect. You can get a headache. You can have chest pain. The stress is so tight. It's crazy. Now, before we go into the next one, I want to give you, I want to let you visualize something. So, fight or flight. You're familiar with that, right? So I'm gonna make it real. Let's just say you were walking in the park around bears for whatever reason, but you're in the park and you see a bear. What happens? Freeze. You freeze. What else? What else happens to your body?
Your heart rate.
Heart rate increases. You start to sweat. You may start to tremble. This is involuntary. It is your body's way of introducing fight or flight. I need to do something in this instance. I may not know what to do, but you need to do something in that instance. So it's your brain sending cortisol through the body. It's the brain sending sugars to the muscles. That's why you get tense. You're ready to go, or I'm ready to fight. Fight or flight. So hopefully we won't see bears. But in essence, if you think about it, imagine if that bear is your parent. Imagine that bear is the father who comes home is aggressive. It may not even be physical abuse on the child itself. It could be something that they're hearing. Even at birth to 3, you feel that tightness. You feel that stress, the ACEs. You feel it. And normally in that bear example, the bear left and we're like, oh, okay, our bodies went back to baseline. Imagine a child experiencing that day in and day out. Their bodies don't have a chance to go back to baseline, or it keeps going. That has a physiological effect on the body, on the brain, on the child's development. Okay, so, and I want to also give an example. So in my work, I've had a child, this may have been about 5 years ago, and I had a mother who was living in a temporary, like with her friend or something. And the mom had a set of twin girls, and they were like 2 years old. And I was in the home to do an evaluation because the 2 girls at around 2 years old, they don't speak. They bite on the side of the crib. They kind of like stare into space. It was really, it was pretty bizarre. And in conversation, and we weren't even talking about that. In conversation, the mom expressed that she was in a very abusive relationship, which is why she was temporarily living with her family member or friend or whoever it was. And I just said, well, did they witness that? Did they see that? No, they don't know. They was little. They were babies. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know. And I'm like, oh, imagine how many people think that because the baby can't talk, they think that they don't feel, that they didn't see that. Those babies were set up, and I'm praying, I'm hoping that they recovered. I do the evaluations and then I leave the families. So I only do the evaluations and send them on their way. But that stuck to me for years. And it was like, the mom didn't know, and she really passed it on. Like that wasn't the situation. They don't even know what's going on. So that's just something that, another example of how the ACEs come in, how protective factors are so big in those formative years. So when stress becomes harmful, intensity matters, duration matters. The lack of emotional support increase the risks. So this is not to say that if a child has some type of adverse problems, that they can't recover from it. It's not saying that. If you have that buffer, whether even if a child was taken away in foster care or whatever situation, if they have a responsive parent to help them along, that can rebuild their social and emotional regulation. And that's really what it is. So again, relationship as buffers, consistency and predictability. I want to know what's going on. If I have food one day and I don't have food the next day, it's not predictable. I don't know what's going on. My body is out of whack. It is out. Emotional warmth. Some families, I know, even in a lot of families in the United States, it's like, don't pick up the baby so much when they cry. You're going to spoil the baby. Have you heard that? Is that something here too?
Yeah. It's a thing here as well, especially with the boys. Sometimes, so as a term of the, how do you say, toxic masculinity?
Yes,
Or
that's
something like
term.
that. Yeah. So yeah, still it's in the traditional way of raising kids, especially the boys. Sometimes the parents or the grandparents say like, "Oh, you don't have to kind of like go after him after he cried. Just let him cry a bit,
Right.
so he know that he was tough enough." Or so he handle things. So yeah, that's also some of the people still practicing that. Yes.
So that's universal, huh? But it's like, no, if the baby cries, and we're not even talking about like 4 and 5 and 8 and 10 years old, even though we want to regulate that as well. These are babies. No, pick up the baby and hold the baby. They're trying to tell you something. You want to address it. Because if you don't, I feel that I'm going to cry all the time now because I don't know when someone's going to help me. All right, so I'm going to give a couple of you a microphone. This is where I want help. The Thai context. So this is based on what I've seen I've read on UNICEF or just internet. And I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. We have Pachaya for young girls expressing emotions can we see that back, please? Did you see it?
I will read it for you.
Okay.
She said for young girls, expressing emotions are seen as being too much and too sensitive to. Another way around from the boys, you know.
So you experienced that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, you're crying so much. Stop being a girl or something like that. Like, oh my gosh, no, emotional regulation. Thank you for that. I think her name was Pachaya. Pachaya. I'm learning. All right. So I want to give me the context. So like I was saying, I've read on UNICEF and some other internet sites about disciplinary practices, caregiver engagement, policy and system constraints that you guys deal with, and gaps in early identification. I don't know. I pulled that from the internet. I need you to talk to me, please.
Maybe this one better. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, you can share.
okay. Please speak to that for us.
As a developmental pediatrician role, I have ever experienced when I work at the tertiary care hospital. There are many families that have poverty, and sometimes I think there are many gaps to access healthcare system, and they cannot receive the support from the hospital or their community properly. So that's why there is quite big problems in the suburb area to receive the proper healthcare system.
Now, just stay on that topic. Why? To give more.
Okay. And in for example, the baseline needs for those kids cannot receive, and also healthcare promotion. For example, positive parenting. They don't know how to regulate when their kids crying or screaming, or they have no idea how to respond those kids properly. So that's why I mean they they cannot access the true knowledge that can help their families.
So is it for here, is it through the medical system? So back home, when we're talking about child development, it's either under the umbrella of social services or education. So what is it here? Like, is there any opportunity for families to get this help?
There are opportunities, but sometimes they don't know how to access.
Got it.
Because the healthcare system is, poverty families sometimes that, restart again. Poverty families sometimes they do know that they would like to ask for help from the hospital or from the communities, but sometimes the cost is quite much. It's like transportation, and they have no public transportation. They have to ask someone for 2,000 baht for drive them and their kids to see the doctor or multidisciplinary team. So that's why it's quite obstacles for their families.
So even to that, I was in South Africa February of 2025, just with South Africa, and I visited the Parent Center. It's an organization right outside of Cape Town, South Africa, and they are fairly similar. So they work with families who have children who may have some developmental disabilities or more focus on the child development side of things. The same thing they said is that even when the systems may be there, but even so, it's difficult for them to get to it. It's difficult to access. And even some people don't have, they even have part of the center is that if the parents will come and they have areas for their other children. They may say, so they can't, they don't want to have to say, I can't go. I don't have a babysitter for my other children. No, we want you to come. Bring everybody. We will help you out. And sometimes they offer them transportation, but it's not feasible. If you think about the area, some areas are very rural. You just can't get there. And they may have the funds or the actual transportation. So the other part is I want to ask is, are they advertised? Is it like can parents go on the internet and find, even if, for the ones who can get there, how do they know? So just going back to the reference with early intervention in Philadelphia, in my city, it's been a big push to promote it through the pediatricians, because sometimes parents don't know where to go. But the parents, for the most part, they take their children to their doctor appointments. So the doctors are sharing our information, the city sharing information. Sometimes they have these commercials or something, or the billboards, if your child has, it's just an effort. But I think that's actually another thing that's universal. Even if you do know where to go, you may not be able to get there. So that's the policy and system constraints, definitely. Now, what about disciplinary practices? Another thing that Mink mentioned in her presentation was about maybe like, I don't want to speculate or talk. Can someone tell me about the problems that may be from the disciplinary practices of the parents? I think you mentioned it as well, like if like trying to shoot them around and don't cry. But what about discipline? How is that here? Physical discipline, emotional discipline, challenges?
I think we still have the issue about disciplinary practices as well. The corporal punishment is still common here. Okay. Even though it's been banned in school, but still some teachers still like secretly doing that. From time to time, it's on the news.
Yeah.
So yeah, even though let's say like in the big picture, Thailand has a problem. is now facing the problem with the enforcing all the regulations and everything. People still, violated all the regulations. Yeah, school banning the corporal punishment, but still the teachers in the school are still doing so. At home, we do not have the regulations, but
It's just for school.
for school.
Ah,
So
okay.
it started at school, but for the newer family, let's say the recent family,
Right.
it's more and more common to do non-corporal punishment.
Yeah.
It's more common in positive parenting. All those who can access to the knowledge and everything, they try to do so. But still, there are many families, they are still behind, way back behind, that they still cannot catch up with the recent knowledge or any recent practice. Or then, as she said, that some family didn't know how to practice, how to discipline their children. So
Right.
it is still a problem.
Back home too. I think that might be a universal thing as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I heard that in the US as well, that some people, even not in, I'm not sure if it's the US, but so many countries that they are like banning the corporal punishment, even though at home.
Right.
Yeah, and but still, like, the parents still like craving or asking for it. Like, we miss that. I think that would bring better generation nowadays or something. They say so on the internet, just to say.
So question for you.
Yeah.
When when it happens in school,
Yeah.
it's banned, but when it does happen, what happens to the teacher? What happens to the person? Are they punished?
In some way, yes, I think so, because they might have the report that she said no one. Yeah. So in some way, by regulation, is that maybe the teacher have to submit the report, what happened, or something like that. It's just that.
Yeah.
So that's the punishment, what I call. But this is not what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, there are some consequences for sure, but
It's probably not as meaningful as
Yeah.
you want it to be.
it's just the protocol that they have to get through,
Yeah.
nothing more.
So
So-
back home, it's like we have the child abuse,
Yeah.
and people still do it, of course. But when it gets bad, or if it's found out, or if a child goes to school, if they have marks or
Yeah.
they find that they have been abused,
Yeah.
it goes to a different system.
Yeah.
So everyone who works with children,
Yeah.
and I'm almost saying this across the country,
Mm,
in the US, we are called mandated reporters.
yeah.
Mandated reporters.
Yeah.
So if we see, or we, as a person, whether I work in my field or a teacher, if we see that a child has been abused or marks or is something going on, or, we have to tell. And guess what? If we see it and we know it and we don't tell, we will get in trouble. That's the mandated reporter. We will get in trouble if we see it and we don't report it.
That's different from here. We also have the Child Protection Act,
Mhm.
in which has been released in 2006. Which also we have the mandatory reporter, doctors, teachers, caregivers, whoever, actually, just whoever who saw the kids who are might have been violated their children's rights. Yeah, they have to make a report. But in terms of practice, I think Thai people are more, as you mentioned at first, like chill in a casual way. We don't like the regulation that much.
Okay.
So they also not created, but they handle things in a different way.
Okay.
Let's say the teacher saw some marks on their student's body.
Right.
They might not go directly into the child protection officer. We have the hotline and everything.
Right.
They might go back to the home of the kids at first and to see what happened.
Right.
Because most of the teachers in Thailand, they know the parents very well,
Okay.
or over the generation as well. Sometimes they know the mother, because the mother sometimes was the student before of her and him before. So sometimes they went to the kids' home to see what happened, or even they provide. I just experienced it. the teacher just offer the kids to stay with her
Oh.
instead of going back home because the parents were poor and really don't know, or maybe addicted or any kinds of problem.
Okay.
So the teacher somehow, instead of doing it in a welfare manner,
Right.
they do it in a, let's say, like charity manner instead. So
To do well.
yeah,
Child
yeah.
with-
So,
and-
but in a casual way, not in a, regulate as the regulation has been written.
Interesting.
So it's more like in a social, yeah, we use the different, social context in approaching this. Yeah. So sometimes it's good, but so many times it's bad because something just go, to the point of no return sometimes. So when they came into the professional track of professional help,
Right.
it would be lots of damages happen already, which I would say for the early intervention
Mhm.
could be better,
Mhm.
but they just do it because they have a good heart.
Right. Right.
They wanted to help, but sometimes something just ain't right, and then things just gone out of hand.
Yeah.
And then they cannot do anything about it. When it comes to the professional hands,
Right.
it's beyond lots of damages. So it's quite hard as
Right.
well to
And I
to
can
correct
see
that.
in that situation, it could go a few different ways.
Exactly.
If the teacher goes to talk to the parent and the parent may get more upset at the child.
Exactly. There's so many things that could happen, but they do it because they have a good heart.
Yes.
That's the thing. They have a very good intention,
Yeah.
but sometimes it didn't go well.
Got
Yeah.
it. All right. So, and the other thing I read, online exploitation risks. I'm not familiar. Is that something that happens here? Mink, have you seen that in your studies? No, have you seen that in your studies?
Online exploitation หาประโยชน์จากเด็ก
Or like
ออนไลน์
when the children are on the internet and
Yeah. I would say มีไหมเคสที่นั่นที่ออนไลน์เป็นเรื่องออนไลน์ครับไม่มี
No, okay.
No, not that much.
Okay. No,
Not
'cause-
not
yeah.
that much in the rural area,
Okay.
but more or less like because I'm working in another hospital in the she said yes, not report though probably. Yeah, but we have lots of cases of the online exploitation myself, because we are pediatrician working in the hospital.
Yes.
And so we have the child protection clinic specifically. So we have lots of cases coming in. Many of them, we're working with the, how to say, online cyber police as well.
Right.
Yeah, we work with them. So sometimes we came up with the cases of like online exploitation. They like sexting,
Yes.
pornographic behind, and some of the kids just ran away from the home to see the guy they met online.
Yes.
They really don't know who he is or anything. But again, with a good heart, some people at the hub, transportation hubs,
Right.
they saw the kids just alone by themselves.
Right.
And then they came to talk to the kids like, what are you doing here? And then,
Right.
and eventually she made a report to the child protection officer that there's a kid here who came after a guy who he didn't know. So yeah,
That's so scary.
Yeah.
That happens all over. That's so troubling.
yeah, that's happened here. too,
Yeah.
yes.
So that is something that happens as well around. So I want to give a case study, and I'm going to read it out loud and leave it up there. And I want to give you guys just a second to think about it, and I want to hear your response. So the case story is Maya. Maya is a 3-year-old child living with both parents in an urban US setting. Her early development was typical. She was curious and social and expressive. Over time, household stress increased due to her father's alcohol use and subsequent job loss. Frequent parental arguments occurred in Maya's presence, changing the emotional climate of the home. Gradually, Maya became quieter, less engaged in play, and more withdrawn in group settings. She began clinging to familiar adults and showed difficulty with emotional regulation. Because Maya did not display disruptive behaviors and continued to follow directions, her emotional needs were overlooked and attributed to temperament rather than stress. So just take a few seconds to think about it. I don't know if you want to, matter of fact, can we do it in pairs? Talk in pairs? Yeah, just split into pairs, please. And just kind of discuss it. Yeah, just discuss it. And just, I want it and I'll give you about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to ask some feedback.
Can I go back to the previous slide?
Oh, I'm sorry. Duh.
I have taught Andy.
No. I did not mean to do that. Sorry.
Niอยู่คนเดียวเอาหน่อยWhere is the bar? Maybe train. Start in
Okay. All right, so what you have so far, guys, what signs of stress stood out? What do you have? What signs of stress stood out? Or you can answer any of those questions. Mm-hmm.
Withdrawal symptoms.
Withdrawn from the group? Mm-hmm.
Poor thinking.
Right. Why would a child, give an example, why do you think a child may be more clingy in that situation? Why? She needs more attention. She's not getting it. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, because she need more attention, which not supported by the family before. So that's why they attract more attention within the other people, I
Right.
think.
Okay. She doesn't feel safe. Exactly. She doesn't feel safe. Maybe sometimes the teacher, like that person is a person that's trusted. So I'm going to go to the teacher. What else do you have? Where could support make a difference? Who could be supported and where could the support come from in that situation?
For the parents.
For the parents. For the parents. And it's like talking about going back to the initial challenges. So what were the challenges that kind of switched the family dynamic in that example? Do you remember? What was it? The dad is an alcoholic. Being an alcoholic, he lost his job. He lost his job. There are more arguments within the home. It's systematic. There's so many different things that can attribute to this. All right. So another story. So this is Nook. So Nook is a 5-year-old child raised in a close, multi-generational household. From infancy through her early childhood, her grandmother was her primary caregiver and emotional anchor. When Nook was 4 years old, her grandmother passed away unexpectedly. After the loss, Nook became quieter, less engaged with peers, and more withdrawn during group activities. She remained compliant and non-disruptive, so concerns were not identified early. Over time, Nook ate less and gradually lost weight. Because of her age, many adults assumed that she would just grow out of it, and formal emotional support was delayed. So we're looking at, and the reason why I put those two in particular was it's not easy, but it's easier when a child is acting out and fighting to say, hey, what's going on? But those two examples were children that didn't act out, they weren't aggressive. It's kind of like under the radar, which is why I use those two. So again, I'm going to just take just a few minutes with this one, and I'm going to come back and let's talk about it. And just 3 questions. The same thing.
Same thing.
The same questions, similar questions, yes. So these are the things we want to address and figure out.
Yes, yes. This we use after
Well, probably the parents, maybe the parents. And I didn't put it there. Excuse me, 1 second. I didn't add it because when I was doing it, the PowerPoint was too wide. So she lived with the whole family. The parents worked, but she was so close to grandma. So it's the parents. So I'm actually going to start off a little bit different with this one. In Nook's situation, is several people who could intervene. Give me one person who could intervene, who can find out, like, wait a minute, something might be going on with Nook. It could have to do with her grandmother. Who's one person that could intervene if you're looking at the whole situation?
I think at first should be the health care provider at first.
Why?
You
Tell
know-
me why.
You know, this is a very, very health professional perspective because, if the grandmother was a primary caregiver, which means during the time that she went for health checkup
Mhm.
or the vaccine or anything, the one that would take her to the hospital
Mhm.
could be the grandparents, could be grandmother.
Mhm.
So if a healthcare worker has, something in their minds, could be like why their parents never showed up, for example.
Mhm.
There could be a little flag
Mhm.
that could be popped up in their head, and then they might be like, could ask like, what happened to the parents? Why couldn't they come? What else that I could do? We could do because in Thailand, let's say, for example, in Thailand, we have the home visiting service as well.
Okay.
Yeah, especially in the high risk cases. Let's say the parents who are not a single mom, for example, or they have the problem with addiction sometimes,
Right.
or any health problem. Do we have the home visiting? So if the healthcare worker notice it, then they could put some intervention in it,
Mhm.
and then that could be the first one.
Yes. And the mother should notice.
Mm.
The parents, we would think, right? We would
Yeah.
think that the parents would notice. And it's like, nobody is noticing.
Yeah.
Who else may pick up? Knock is 5. So 5-year-olds, okay. What education is 5 years old here? Kindergarten or? Okay.
I think the family doctor can notice this when there are someone lost in that family. They should actuate raise the how to say to acknowledge about grief and bereavement
Mhm.
process.
Mhm.
For example, there are kids in this family, and the one who passed away is the main caregiver. So that's why it's dramatic effect to
Mhm.
this kid, and what is the next step to have some conversation to kid and also another family members
Mhm.
about this loss. And if because sometimes kids in this age have like fantasy understanding, so that's why they might feel guilt, like, the reason why my grandmother lost from my misbehavior that morning, sometimes, and they have no time to or no place to have a chit chat about this event. So that's why it's like the something that feel guilt is still in their mind, and no one can explore. So if the family doctor or general pediatrician who work with those family notice this event, this loss event, and provide the knowledge in this family, so they can have a proper management and prevent this behavior or emotional symptoms like this.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Yes.
Yes, and one more notice is that should be the teacher, because of she says she less engaged with the peers and withdraw from the group activity. The group activity and the peer should happen in the school system. So the teacher that will see her like withdraw from many activity.
The music teacher, yes. But that's absolutely true in this situation. The teacher is noticing even if the teacher doesn't know about the family's situation, that would be the teacher's opportunity to say, hey, is anything going on at home? Because I noticed that knock isn't, Also, there's one more person. We talked about the medical. What about the weight loss? She lost weight. So maybe at a pediatric office, and it's like, wait a minute, why is this child losing so much weight? that's another opportunity for another person outside of the family to help identify maybe there is something else going on, right? All right, good. I love it. I love it. All right. So I wanted to take time to bring up Sundiata Ekeleme Washington, my son, who's here as my assistant. Now, I wanted to talk about the intergenerational perspective. And this is from a young person's perspective. Now, I purposely did not discuss this with him. I actually told him we were getting on a flight for Philadelphia. I told him, I said, I'll put you into my presentation and I want you to talk a little bit. He's like, what? But I want him to talk to this. And I said, and you can answer one or all of these questions based on your perspective. And just to preface this, I'm sure you've heard like stories and stuff in the United States. We have a lot of crime. We have a lot of crime. And ultimately, it's why I got into this and this subject is that we see so much going on. A lot of times we want to address the teenager or the middle schooler or the young adult who is causing problems, who are fighting, who are going to jail, who are all of these problems. And my thing is that it didn't just start. It did not just start. These are factors that occur a lot of times early on with your social regulation. There is a difference between a person who walks down the street and someone wants to argue and they want to fight you, or they want to shoot you, or they want to cause bodily harm to you. And then you have the other person like, wait a minute, what? And just walk away. That's your social regulation. When this is not addressed, when we don't have these buffers as young people, this is set up inside. And when the people get older, it's like, it's loose. You don't have the regulation to calm your inhibitions and stay calm as opposed to going. That fight or flight, some people want to fight all the time. That's not normal. So just in this situation, just to introduce Sundiata, he is a university student. He's 20 years old, a senior at university at home. So I just want to, there you go.
Hi. Thank you for having me. Doing great. On the way here, she didn't tell me what questions, how many. She just kind of sprung it on me. Yeah, you're going to be talking during my presentation. Caught me off guard, but it's okay. I like talking in front of people sometimes. I'll answer all three. I seen when she pulled up the slide, I was reading them. I'll answer all three. It's okay. So that first one, what I observed growing up about parent presence, stress, or support in my community. First off, I want to say I'm super grateful for having both my parents there when I was growing up. They always kept me out of trouble. I would never say we grew up in a bad neighborhood, like surrounding areas. You see stuff, but our neighborhood, our block, it was never anything dangerous. I never felt like I had to worry when I was at least stepping out of the house. When I was growing up, they always tried to keep me entertained. Like I was playing sports growing up a lot. I remember at a young age, I did music a little bit. I know I played the piano. I practiced that. My brother practiced drums and he ended up picking up the guitar at some point as well for a little bit. But for me, I was always out of the way. Again, even though my neighborhood wasn't dangerous, it wasn't anything that I had to worry about. They always kept me more in rural areas, playing sports growing up. All of my community, at least until I was about, I want to say 12 or 13, was surrounded by sports. So it kind of helped me build a sense of community, helped me build a sense of teamwork, leadership. It helped me gain different perspectives, how to look at people a certain way, how to talk to people. Definitely grateful for that. As far as stress, I think that I didn't have a lot of stress growing up. I like to believe, but I know I can always talk to my parents or people I have in my community, my family. I could always talk to them about anything if I do need a shoulder to lean on. I think growing up, I tend to shy away from it, not because that's how I was raised. It's just I've seen outside of my family, I've seen examples of people, they tend to lean on people. I know that's not just a Philadelphia thing, but it's something that more people are being taught as they're being raised in areas like that. It's not always okay to depend on other people because anything could happen. Anyone could do anything. I know that that's not true. I think I just kind of developed it within communities I have been, especially after that developmental period going into high school and all that. But again, not a lot of stress. I'm okay. I'm grateful for my parents and my family. They help me do what I have to do. They're the reason I'm in the position that I'm in. I'm even here today in Thailand. Thank you. Yeah, and support in the community. Yeah, I think it's definitely important, super important. I like to think that you could do anything, you don't need anybody. As long as you have your own mindset on what you want to do, you can do anything. But that support from your community can easily make or break anything that you're doing. Even if it's one person, even if it's a little push that you need. Definitely, again, I would never say that you absolutely need somebody in your corner to do what you want to do, but it does make a difference. Whether it's the amount of time it takes, whether it's the amount of effort that you put in every day, whether it's developing discipline for yourself, even for more than just whatever you're trying to go for. Support is necessary. I think so. I've grown to learn that. The second question, differences I noticed between families who felt emotionally available versus overwhelmed. Big difference. Big difference. And I feel like it's not something, and most of what I'm saying is going based off of just where I grew up at, where areas I've been around. It's not general for everybody nationally, globally. It's just, I would say more locally in the area of Philadelphia. But my family's always been available. I could talk to my mom about something. Even with my dad being a little reserved emotionally, I know if I have something that I would need to talk to him about, I could definitely talk to him about that. Same thing with my sisters, my sister, my brothers, they listen. Again, I don't do it much, but I know if I need to, I definitely can. It's not nothing ever happened for make me think that. I just kind of grew up a little, yeah. But going to at a young age, I went to a public school. I switched to a private school for a little bit growing up, and then I went back to public school. For like the rest of my schooling, could definitely say different people I've met, people who grew up in a not so comfortable environment, whether it was moving around a lot at a young age or having different kind of relationships with their parents. It's a very big difference when either with how people carry themselves, like she was saying with the fight or flight. A lot of people, especially in Philadelphia, just want to fight. There is no such thing as a fight or flight. You even look at them a little different, they're ready to do anything about it. And part of that is just growing up in areas that they did. I know there's a lot of families out there that don't grow up with some sort of, I guess you could say, father figure. And I used to think when I was younger that that's kind of just people trying to take blame or like make some sort of excuse. It's definitely a real thing. And when you do grow up without that kind of father figure, a lot of people look towards their outside community that grow up in the same kind of way. So they kind of just look at each other as guidance, whether their mom is always working. I always hear about mothers working 2-3 jobs just to support a family of 4. Everyone turns to the same thing. Everyone has the same kind of support. And then it kind of becomes like in a way, I definitely do think that can make people's bonds a lot tighter. It can make people a lot closer. But then it's like you don't have any outside perspective. You don't have any older people giving you some sort of wisdom. And then it becomes that kind of cycle that people talk about. And that kind of just happens whenever everything is emotionally overwhelmed. Instead of everyone being available, you having some sort of sense of community in at least a safer environment. So, and I hate to say it, I do think that it will be a lot easier to see it, whether you watch a documentary or you take a visit. I feel like me saying stuff about it wouldn't give it a whole lot of justice just because, again, I just seen it. I didn't grow up like that. You would have to talk to people who did, or you'd have to experience it, or you have to see it for yourself to try and get a real understanding for it. I can just give you like a glimpse of what I think. Lastly, how early environments show up later among peers at school or in the neighborhood. Like I was saying before, a lot of people grow up They end up turning to their community. They're outside a lot. And I've seen situations. I remember it was a few years ago. My dad let me take the car so I can go get a haircut. And it wasn't even, it was probably like a 5-minute drive from where we live at. Again, our neighborhood wasn't bad. You go surrounding neighborhoods, could be a different story, could not. But like a 5-minute drive. And I was going back to the car and I seen this kid, like he was probably like this tall. And I turned around because out my peripheral, all I could see was a ski mask. I'm thinking, who gave him that? He's like 7. I don't know where he's getting this from, but he was just there was no problem or nothing. That he was just walking. But the simple fact that I turned around, knowing where I'm at. So of course, if I see a ski mask, I'm going to turn around. It's a kid. Oh, okay. So a ski mask, right? So say your mask right there, the medical mask. It covers all of here. Let me take off my glasses. It covers all of here, all around. Only thing that's visible is like eyes like this. Everything else is covered. And people use it for sports if it gets cold out, whatever. But Philadelphia, people mainly use it for criminal activity. They don't use it because it's cold. I've never seen someone have a ski mask on. Actually, it was such a big thing. Do you remember what year that was? A few years ago, they started trying to ban ski masks on public transportation because it was like 85 degrees in the summer. Half the buses filled up with people with ski masks. It's not cold. We know why they're wearing it. You feel me? Sorry. We know why they're wearing it, but I feel like that's just an example of one of the many examples of how people start off young. They're exposed to different things, whether it be anything violent. They're exposed to a lot of different things that shows later on in life. Once you get more access to things that people should not normally have access to. And I remember this will probably be the last thing I say about that part because I don't want to bring any negative energy. But I remember probably a year ago, I would say, I was coming home from work and I was on the phone with my mom. And she doesn't like when I call her come home from work because it's late. Cool, that's fine. But I was just telling her what I had on. All I said was, I didn't have a ski mask on. Don't think that. I had a little medical mask on. That's all I had on. I had medical mask on. I had on a black hoodie. And she started panicking. And I came to a point where I realized after I said it, how it looks. But it came to a point because she was saying I would look like a potential target. But realistically, I just look like everybody else that was walking around. I feel like it made me blend in even more because someone will look at me. Obviously, if you see a mask, you might look a little harder, but your first thought isn't all that so-and-so. Everyone who roams the streets of Philly, especially around my age range, everyone looks similar. And yeah, I'm not going to say it's good, but that's my home. So I can't say too much about it. I'm going to go back at the end of the day. I don't think I could ever say I hate it. Yeah, and I don't know too much about politics or government laws within Philadelphia or within the state of PA. So I can't say much about what the government is trying to do about these ongoing issues within Philadelphia. Potholes are bad. They're not doing nothing to fix those. That's all I can say about it. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm sorry. You hit the pointer. I left it over there. Thank you. I'm so proud of him. I have 2 other children, 3 others. Well, one is my bonus son, but my other one is in university as well. And my daughter is 28 years old. She graduated. She's a director of IT program at a school that she works at. I'm so proud. So, and thank you for that, Sunyata. And that was the part that we were talking about what happens as the children age. And I did not even think about his perspective as far as what happens in Philadelphia with the children, and if you don't have the proper supports, is just detrimental, and so just asking, what do these stories teach us? So we talked about Nok, we talked about Maya, we talked about Sundiata's experience, we talked about situations that you guys have witnessed and observed in your fields. What do these stories teach us? Developmental needs are shared. Context shapes expression. Connection supports resilience. Interactions like this is so important. I've learned so much from you all. And just even thinking in a context of learning and collaboration. We want to tell stories. Even something like the bear story. When I tell that, I love that story. It's simple as a bear, but it gives you can visualize what happens to the body and why it's so important for this regulation to take place. Stress often shows up quietly. We may not always see it. It may not be the child that's fighting. It may not be the child that's withdrawn. It shows up in a myriad of different ways, many different ways. Early signals invite early support. Of course, that's when we are able to identify it, right? All right. So what was really happening? In all the examples again, loss of emotional safety, reduced opportunities for co-regulation, stress without the consistent buffering. I've said that so many times within this presentation. It's about the buffering. Children may go through adverse challenges. They may go through separation. They may go through abuse. They may go through all types of problems, but it's so important that we offer that buffer, that safety net. And studies show that when you have that safety net, you can come back and rise higher. The ACEs studies show that as well. Like you can have the higher number of ACEs, the more challenges you may, potentially have. But if you still have that buffer, it doesn't have to be, right? All right. The role of adults. Notice changes, not just the behaviors. Stay emotionally available. Did you hear that? Thank you for sharing your story. To Sundiata. Ka Sundiata, you're awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. Oh, sorry. He says thank you. Thank you. And stay emotionally available. Stay emotionally available. The child cries, respond. If the little boy, if he's upset, address it, Respond early, even when signals are subtle. It may be nothing. It may be my toe is hurting. Even if it's like a 2-year-old child, if they have that ear infection, if they have a belly ache, they're crying, they need support for something. We just have to investigate and find out what's going on. Yes, every child needs the adult that will be there for them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Protective factors in real life. Consistent caregiver relationships, predictable routines. Try to keep it predictable. Sometimes it makes you kind of uneasy for a child if they don't understand what's going on. Emotional presence during stress, especially during times of stress. Opportunities for repair. Small shifts, big impact. Pausing before reacting, naming the emotions, staying close during distress, repairing after hard moments. That buffer. Did you take that picture? You go ahead. Sure. All right. Systems matter too. We spoke about systems, and I wanted to get back to what you guys were talking about because this is also important. We can talk to the parents till we're blue in the face, but if systems aren't in place, it falls. So the corporal punishment, things like that. If that is occurring, we can talk to the parents till they're blue in the face, but if nothing's going to happen, what says, okay, I'm going to stop, or even in systems talking about advertisement, making families aware of the supports that are available to them. So we want to make sure we're doing that too. And that's, again, back home, that's a big push. And I was in part of some of that stuff when pushing for early intervention and allowing families to know that, no, you can get this help and you don't have to pay. We're going to give it to you. Across context, shared commitments. Louder for the people in the back. That's right, Pichaya. Pichaya. Thank you, Pichaya. Across context and shared commitments. Supporting emotional safety, strengthening relationships, responding early to stress, protecting developmental trajectories. Foundations to hold on to, just for us to, we're winding down now. Everyday moments matter. Presence over perfection. Some people think they have to be perfect. I'm not the perfect parent, no matter how many times I think so, but no, I'm not the perfect parent. But we make mistakes. It's okay. It's that buffer. We are all learning. If you stop learning, you're what? Dead. You learn every day, every day. Small actions build resilience. Key takeaways. Same thing. Protective beginnings are built through everyday moments. Stress often shows up quietly in young children. Most of the time they do. Presence matters more than perfection. Early relationships shape lifelong resilience. And these are just some closing reflections for you guys. What will you notice differently after today? Evaluation link. Okay, someone's asking for the evaluation link. Where might you slow down and respond sooner? What strengths already exist in your context? You guys have a lot of different strengths. And same thing for us as well back home. It's a lot of strengths, but we have a lot further to go. So thank you very much. Kap kum kap. Did I say that? Ah, yes. Kap kum kap. That's good. And here is my website for anyone who's watching. That's where are you? Okay, there you go.
No, I just want to share something regarding with the emotional availability, which is also very important. As a pediatrician, probably you experience this as well, because we had to do back to the time that I was doing the training as pediatrician. We had to do the venipuncture, the blood drawing ourselves. And so many times that, of course, it was very, very stressful for the kids. The thing is that I usually allow the parents to be in the room, help holding them. But one thing that I have to make sure is that, but mom, please be content. Please be firm. Do not cry in front of your kids, because that shows that you are very, very stressed. And then that causes the kids to stress as well. So many times that I have to be like, please do not cry. If you're sure, please make sure you're not going to cry. Otherwise, it will be even more stressful for the kids. Yeah, that's better when the mom say like, okay, I know it's hurt. It's gonna be a while, but when it's done, and I'm here for you or something like that. That's very, very, very important. And also one point that I would like to mention as well is the policies. For example, before we have the Child Protection Act in Thailand, we also have the NGOs working on the children's rights. So more or less before that, when the people came across with child abuse or something, they have to work on their own to get reached to the NGOs to advocate for the advocacy or the process of child protection, which is not so solid. Let's say they have to customize on their own way to get through the police officer, to get through the hospital and everything. But after they have the Child Protection Act, which is aligned with the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child afterwards. So the government units have to have the protocols to handle with the child protection issue. So everyone knows, like, at least by principle, they know what they have to do. Yeah. So let's say like if you came across with the child abuse, you make a call to the child protection officer, which right now they have the hotline already. So before that, they really don't know where to call. 2006, so it's been almost 20 years.
Nice,
20
okay.
years. So, but still, in terms of practice, there's still some problem because, of course, some new people come into the unit, so they have to make a new training or a new perspective or something that they have to be trained, of course. But it's moving forward.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes we were upset about like how can they handle this case like this, which is not the way it should be.
Right.
But still, sometimes I even like why they are here, like the government unit sometimes. But my boss, who has more experience, they say like, it's better to have them here. Before that is even harder, that they have to work on your own, like making a call to NGOs, and NGO have to process everything, and it will be even harder. So yeah, you can be upset, but yeah, they have to be here, and you have to work with them and teach them how to handle things.
Right.
Or something like. So let's say policies really, really matter. Otherwise, it would be all the kids would have been like violated so far. Even we have regulations and everything, still, as you have seen. Yeah, this is what I like to share. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's always, we always have to learn, always have to do better. Thanks.
There anyone else?
Anyone else?
Well, I would like to thank you.
As a Marx person, so we talk about the policy and for the professional things a lot, but if we come back to the personal life as a parent, I think for the normal parents don't want to be rude or don't want to let the children cry or something, right?
Right.
But the hard thing is how they control emotion or how they can control behavior, something like that. Because I think a lot of people come to see the doctor and the professional thing and say, "Oh, I don't want to be that like the parent like that."
Right.
So the thing is, if the parents know how to raise the child and the parents know how to control and how to heal
Right.
themselves before they act. I think that's a good
point. That's an excellent point. If we don't know how to do it, how do we help our children? That's an excellent point. We have to learn how to do it ourselves. We are in the room. We know because this is what we do. But for the average person, they don't know. Like the example of the parent who had the twins with the abuse. She didn't know. If you don't know, how do you do better? So that's another point. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my personal experience as well because of the high risk cases in the hospital, and they have been transferred to the child protection services. So many cases, the parents themselves really don't know how to do the basic daily life things, even for themselves. Let's say easy cooking, sometimes, or cleaning properly, or do the hygiene practice. Let's say so many kids come to the hospital with unclean clothes,
right,
or bare feet, which is for us here is wild. I would say it's very wild here. Some of the cases came to us with only they might be wearing the adult's t-shirt or something without the pants under or something like that, which is very, very unexpected. Because that nowadays we expect everyone when they go to somewhere else, they should dress properly, not properly in terms of manners, but it's just like, this is what the bare minimum that parents should do, right? So somehow in this kind of thing, in terms of policy, In Thailand, we have the parenting school program for the family once they were like during the pregnancy. But there's a problem as well because it's free. A parenting school is free. It's including in the health benefit packages.
Right.
But the thing is that you have to get the service from the registered hospital or registered health center. The thing is that the parents usually move to work somewhere else. We have lots of domestic migration.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so many parents did not get that kind of classes, or even they don't have the time for the classes.
Right.
Yeah, as far as I've known, we did some not survey, but we did the site visits 2 years ago. We talked to the health to the hospital,
Mhm.
like district hospital,
Right.
not that big. I asked them if they still have the parenting school. They said no. I asked like why. She said because we don't have the parents coming in
Wow.
because they moved to work somewhere else. So even though there's a service available,
Right.
but the parents still did not get that.
That's so unfortunate.
Exactly. So we try, um, yeah, I think like in terms of policy, they have a very good start. But in terms of implementing or by the context itself, it's pretty hard. You know, there's so many factors happening here in this country. And also it's all about the poverty and also the opportunity to get into the services that they should have had. Right. So more or less, I would say different contexts,
Right.
but the same problem.
Same thing.
Yes.
Quick question. For people who are rural,
Yeah.
do they have cell phones typically or not? So what is it?
It's pretty common for the people to have the phone here. Those who do not have, usually like the old people, sometimes they don't have it, but most of them they still have it.
So with we've experienced that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, even like everyone has a phone, no matter your situation, everyone has a cell phone.
Yeah.
Part of our services we offer on Zoom. We offer electronically. So in case that may be something to implement or even to like, even if you're not, you can participate. If you have
Online.
internet service,
Yeah.
you can participate in, somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That is something that happened to us. Here as well, as may have seen, we have the Zoom call today.
Yeah.
It happens during the COVID-19. Yeah. So
Me too, yes.
yeah. So but in this kind of services, I don't know what's the story behind.
Right.
They use the telemedicine services in other kinds of services as well, but not the parenting service.
Gotcha.
I don't know why. I don't know. I never dig down like what's really happening. But this is a very good point. Maybe I will talk to them again and then let's see. It might work. I don't know. Thank you.
Maybe, hopefully, because that'll. I mean, internet. You can open it up. Was there anyone else had? Just want to make sure we can't go to the fact that even with her.
Probably.
Yeah, many
Yeah.
parents and teachers weren't able to get children parenting themselves. It's difficult to difficult to change the cycle, to break the cycle when you don't understand yourself. That's something we experience as well. So even so, I've learned there are so many similarities. There's differences within the cultures, but it's so many similarities when you guys are talking. I'm like, yes, us too. We did that too. So I love it. Thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. And now we will open for the floor for the Q&A question. If you have any question or comment, please raise your hand. And people in the Zoom, you can comment or raise your hand or open your microphone if you have any question.
มีคนยกมือนะครับ คุณจุราพรนะครับ สักครู่นะครับ
Okay, thank you for the great presentation and a very impressive story sharing from friends from the state. I am Jurapon Tangphakdi from the Faculty of Nursing, Khon Kaen University. I'm truly admire on the ACE research topic and in the relevance of the child protections. My question is about what is the situations in the US which have the diversity of the cultures, ethnic group or whatever, because learn from you, it would help us in Thailand. We recently facing a challenge from neighborhoods from countries around us who may immigrate to our countries and somehow bring their own families, backgrounds, concerns, and problems. Thank you for your response. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you. If you can repeat the first part one more time, please. Uh-oh.
สักครู่นะครับ สักครู่นะครับ พอดีเสียงไม่เข้าครับ ขอโทษครับ สักครู่นะครับ สักครู่นะครับ แป๊บหนึ่งนะครับ ไม่แน่ใจทางนี้ล็อกไมค์หรือว่า ได้แล้วครับ ครับ เชิญครับ
Sorry. Thank you for the opportunity asking these questions. I am Jirapon from Faculty of Nursing, Khon Kaen University. It's truly appreciate on your inspiring presentation. My question is about, can you please share us about the situation of the cultural diversity on the ethnic groups in the state? Would they have like problems amongst the ACEs? Would it have more or less concern on the ethnic groups in the US? Thank you, Ka.
All right. Thank you for that. So as for, I think it's another sense of systematic. If the areas, I don't want to say more diverse, but I would say that in areas that are more we notice it all across the board. And initially you would think that people in poorer situations, lower economic statuses, because of the stress and everything that goes on, that they may have higher prevalence of the ACEs. We see that's not the case. We see the high level doctors. You're white, you're Black, you're Asian, you're Hispanic. It goes around. And I think Kaiser, there was a study initially with the ACEs with the company Kaiser Permanente in California. And I've studied them so much. And that was one of the studies that who experiences the ACEs? It's across the board. It's across the board. And some people are able to hide it a little better, to be honest. So I hope I answered that question. And the answer is pretty much, it is across. It's not much more. You have different situations, but I think maybe people in poorer, lower economic statuses, they may be ostracized a little bit more. They may not be able to fight it. I think I've noticed that. That's just my personal take from that.
I would like to share also my experience working in Bangkok and also some brief experience as well while I was in the US, just a month. Well, in Thailand, of course, the risk factors, like the common risk factors are like, not the common risk factors, but we found like the poorer family with the hardship on economic status have more risk to have the risk to have the adverse events in their families But still, one side is that I found, which is very interesting, and also is already mentioned in the studies and everything, is that the protective factors that that matters a lot. Like you say that your son shared a story, for example, probably in your neighborhood, probably let's say not your, but in someone neighborhood might not be so good in terms of economy.
Right.
But if you have a very strong protective factors, let's say like emotional support, the parents are there every time you get access to the needs, to the help that you need, that could be the protective factor. So let's say by ethnicity, I usually do not believe that that's like if affects the most. I would say in terms of it's vary because in the clinic, the child protection clinic in the hospital as well, we have lots of cases which are also from the rich family, also from the rich families, and also from the diverse, let's say nationality as well. Yeah, we have cases from, England who lives in Thailand. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, the family from England, the family from Singapore, Sweden, Germany, yeah, Japan, whatever you can think of. Yeah, because it's diverse of everything. But of course, the most would be from the Thai family. But yeah, again, I would say there's no specifically ethnical involvement that much.
Right.
It depends. It's very, very depends on what they have. Let's say the
Absolutely.
resilience. Yeah.
It's an everybody problem.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
We have
Okay.
another question?
มีคำถามเพิ่มเติมไหมครับ เชิญได้เลยนะครับ คุณพิชยา she has a question
Okay.
รอสักครู่เดี๋ยวเปิดไมโครโฟนให้นะครับ พิชยา
Hello.
Okay ได้ยินแล้วครับเชิญเลยครับ yes please
Hello. Thank you, Emma. Thank you so much for your presentation. It's wonderful and it's very refreshing to hear. Thank you. I'm a special needs teacher, and my questions. Oh, so I worked with children who experiences ACEs firsthand because I worked with children from like 5 to 11 years old. And my question is, how do we change the mindset of the adults? Like, how do we help them to see defiance as like something that as a form of asking for help instead of like trying to defy authority? Because in the culture, it's pretty much like, oh, you want to, I don't know, like in Philly would be like, want to fight me, something. Because in Thailand, it's even asking question can be seen as something rude in some classrooms. So that is the problem that we are facing. So if you go into a classroom like you are now, you see that many people might not be raising their hands, asking questions so much. That is one of the cultural things that is happening every day. So yeah, so how do we help the adults to see that actually the child are not acting out, they are asking for help? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And thank you for your participation, Taya. Pick Taya. Thank you. So I've experienced that so many times. And all about explanation, gently, explain. So I can give you a scenario with that. So you have a child who is hitting, and you can when you want to discuss what's going on, children, they don't have the capacity to use language and to express themselves the way we do. And we get into arguments as well as adults. I would say if you're talking to your significant other and you're having an argument and it's like, wait a minute, we have full conversation, we have full words, and we're still missing the point, right? Imagine a child who is small or younger They don't have the language to say, I'm upset because grandma passed away. I'm upset because, you're not home a lot. You're at work or someone else is watching me. They don't have the wherewithal to express that. If you give the parents very simple explanations that they could understand, that may be a way of, getting through to them. Or even if it's a child and they say, oh, he's upset. I popped them when they do this. I hit them, but they're always hitting. I'm like, wait a minute. You just taught them that when you get upset, this is the way to handle it. So some parents don't understand that. So it's all about when you express it and not chastising. You don't want to, you'll lose a parent if you say, you need to do this. You're not doing this right. It's about the way you address the person. Thank you, Pichaya. I'm going to say that all night long. Pichaya.
Okay.
Any other questions from the audience?
มีคำถามเพิ่มเติมเชิญได้เลยนะครับ Oh yeah, there is not a question, but the comments as well. I think sometimes we focus on the kids, right? But so many times I think like the parents also are in needs as well. Like from the study as well, we found that the victims of the abuse or the experience, like, the abuse victim turned into the abuser for 30 to 50%. So yeah, we found that too in our clinic. And then, yeah, they also need help. They need the evaluation and also the intervention as well. So many times I think the teacher, let's say the teachers, they found some kids that are at risk and they try to deal with the parents. And sometimes they found the parents are pretty not so easy to deal with. So yeah,
and that's where it comes from.
Yeah, exactly. You know that, but you also try to fix the kids.
Right.
Which of course you spend the whole day with the kids. The teachers spend the whole day with the kids, but another 16 hours, let's say, the parents stay with them. So they have more influence.
It's like undoing it.
Exactly. So most of the time in our practice in the hospital, when we found, which is not so good because it's come to the point where they needs that help in the hospital, which is way too much. So most of the cases we do the evaluation for the whole family as much as we could. And then we get them into the treatment or intervention as well.
And how do they, out of the percentages how many take advantage of that opportunity?
More than half, I would say. I do not have the exact number, but more than half.
That's good.
Because somehow we kind of take the kids as a hostage as well sometimes.
What?
Because we sure that if the parents do not participate in the process of child protection, of course you wouldn't get your kids back.
That's right. That's where systems come into play.
It's a hard word. It's a harsh words for taking kids as a hostage, but that's just for the child-based interest,
But also we won't put that child back in danger.
No way. That's exactly. So somehow we have to work with the whole family.
Absolutely.
Or even so, they're not ready at the time. Sometimes they came back later. Right. And so before we return the kids back to the family, we still, emphasize with the child protection officer that all of them need to be evaluated again.
Right.
Regardless of they have a former evaluation. So they still need one.
I'm going to talk to you a little further after we're done. But also, this is something that no one really knows. I'm going to share it with the world. But my dissertation, that's actually the program, what I'm trying to get into, trying to formulate the research portion. I'm going to begin my research portion in the spring. So it is a program specifically for parents on the social regulation, social emotional, that part, especially for the families who've had children removed or they're in some type of program where, they need the help. Come through EGE Creatives and let's work with you and just to help the lungs. This is such an awesome opportunity. Wow. I'm learning so much. Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Okay, I think there's some, attendance link, please. Is safeguarding training mandatory in every school in Thailand yet? That's for you guys.
No, not yet. It's voluntary. Yeah, they have like many NGOs offer the online courses
Right.
for the safeguarding. Let's say Muniti, ศูนย์พิทักษ์สิทธิเด็ก I forgot the name in English, but anyway, yeah, they have online classes or even the UNICEF, I think they also have the courses for that. But it's still not voluntary. So that is why also the reason why so many teachers, when they came across with the cases or the suspicious or at-risk kids, they really don't know how to do that. Yeah, but sometimes if I had a chance, sometimes I had a chance. Let's say like this Friday, I will have a lecture for the Department of Education in another university. So I will also bring them this topic that they know how to handle with the cases.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Erica, how can schools and teachers support children affected by ACEs while addressing language barriers by using inclusive, culturally responsive strategies and working closely with families and wider community, especially in low resource or remote areas? That's a loaded question, and that's an awesome question. When we work with families, we always want them to feel included. We want to recognize cultural differences, not in a negative sense, but to embrace it. So Fang and I, we have been corresponding a lot. And one of the email correspondence I sent to her was one of my PowerPoints. I first did it, and I changed a lot of information around because I wanted to be culturally respective. Consider the word respective. I wanted to respect the culture, the Thai culture. It's different. So that was my aim at when I was asking and talking about the Thai context. I took it to you because I don't know. I want to learn. So in any situation, when you're language barriers, you use all the systems that you have, like whether it's even something simple as the translation services from your phone or from technology, and understanding what the culture is. Talk to them about it. What I do at home even may not be what my next door neighbor does. And we're in the same city, the same street, and it may be different. So what do you do? And be mindful not to ostracize, be mindful to be open. And I want to learn, I want to understand. So I think that is, we want to be inclusive with everything, with special needs, with culture, with language. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions?
Maybe we have a couple of minutes more. Yeah, for the question. There is ศรีสกุลสักครู่นะครับ เดี๋ยวเปิดไมโครโฟนให้ครับ ลองเปิดไมโครโฟนได้เลยนะครับถ้าสักครู่นะครับ
Okay, you hear me? Okay, hi. Did you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Hello.
Okay. All right. Hello. So this is a very simple, not a simple, but maybe difficult. The question is because I think, for example, if what should be the tips or tricks for parents in the current world that okay, we before it's go into the system of okay, we notice, we observe, and we present or whatever, how we frame or how we grow our kids to be strong enough to be in the world, because when they go out, for example, with the school, with the like the surrounding and everything, sometimes they might face something, bullies or something else. How we, or just we hear them, we notice them, or what should be the tips for parents? Yeah.
Back to that. That's an awesome question. It's another good question. And it's how you talk with your child, that social regulation, and also identifying the feelings, talking about the feelings, understanding. But if the child is to be strong, if they're facing something like a bully, it is to be comfortable enough to talk to someone who is trusted, who can help that along. That is something kind of isolated where not isolated where it doesn't happen. It happens quite often. But I mean that if someone is being bullied, that child obviously should not have to deal with that. But instead of that can turn a child backwards. The child may then become stressed, then not want to go to school, then their performance drops. I would say just to have that child be comfortable to talk to a trusted adult. And like Sundiata mentioned in his talk, where he said that with his community, he has people like, between mom and dad, obviously, but he has people in his community that he may say things to or discuss something with them that he may not with the parents. But just to have a trusted person that they can talk to. I hope I answered that question. Did I answer the question for you?
I think in terms of the bullies, I think that's a very good suggestion. And for example, if how we groom or how we make them like strong enough before we face anything, because sometimes before they face things and become a problem, trauma, how they, I think this is, from a child before they face with the things like that, they're strong enough. Yeah.
Right. It's all about beginnings. That is it. When you have that baseline, that social regulation, that social and emotional regulation, then when the child gets to the point, if they are facing any adverse challenges, they know where to go. They know how to get assistance. We don't want to expect the child to be able to deal with that on their own. If a child is being bullied, that's not, we don't expect them to say, hey, suck it up. You're going to be strong. Able to feel comfortable enough to talk to someone to get help. Because guess who's the person that needs really the help? It's the bully. So we want to make sure we're addressing that. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
There are some more questions over there.
Okay. All right. Go down. It started with I am a caretaker.
Yeah. อันบนก่อนครับอันบนไงขึ้นไปด้านบนคุณนุ้ยthat one.
That was okay.
Yeah.
I'm a caretaker for a Korean 4-year-old girl, and I find it a bit difficult to deal with the child's parents. As they have high expectations for their child's studies. As a caretaker tutor for the child, how do I deal with it myself to handle this situation? I'm going to turn it over to one of you for this one right here.
So I would love to respond first. This is very, very interesting. At first, I guess she mentioned about the, a parent's expectation, but instead of like how to persuade them to change, she asked like how to handle it herself. This is very interesting. So for me, just a very simple advice is that it's their own child. So you cannot do that much about it. You just can feed some more information about the options, but not overstep. never overstepping on that, and just to make sure that the kids are in not like in the best condition, I would say. If some kids can handle those academic achievement, which is fine, but some kids aren't. So just make sure that sometimes the kids are not good in academia, but they might be good in something else. So this is the opportunity to deal with yourself and also to deal with the parents as well. This is the chart.
Because if she says, hey, may not be this, but they may be better than that.
I don't know how that's gonna be, but I would say the Korean parents probably different from the Thai parents as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
More strict, more rigid.
Could be. I don't
Okay.
know. Yes.
Got it. All right. And we have, hello, I'm Jessie. Hi, Jessie, a foreign teacher in Thailand and also a SPED teacher. My question is, in what ways do cultural values in Thailand, like Kreng Jai, am I saying that right? Kreng
Jai.
Kreng Jai,
Yes.
consideration for others, respect for elders, and family honor influence how children experience, report, or cope with ACEs? That's again for you guys.
ในอย่างอาจารย์ชมพู่เอาไหม So she asked, foreign teacher, yeah. My question is, in what ways do cultural values in Thailand influence how children experience reporting or cope with adverse with ACEs? Yeah, cultural. Yeah. Oh, okay. I will respond this one first. Oh, Dr. Chompu, yes.
Okay, I think it can happen in Thai context because เกรงใจ is mean consideration for others in English, but sometimes it's quite it depends on culture background, and I think the way to solve this problem is acknowledge every people that everyone have a right to raise awareness or report the ACEs events. I'm not sure that I answered this question or not.
I think Jessie would like to know how the cultural background of the Thai people affects the ACEs response in the society. I think Greng Jai that Jessie mentioned is just one thing behind a big culture thing here in Thailand is that losing face. It's a big culture thing here. It's a big thing. Losing their own fates. So Greng Jai is not to bother others because of you're afraid of like, you know, losing face that you have no manner to handle yourself. So somehow, you know, getting for the family and the kids, being a Thai, I would say step over the Greng Jai word into the losing face. Getting reported, being reported, or doing a report and making, you know, if it's you've been exposed something, of course. You've been losing face, of course. So that's a big thing. So that could get the backlash.
Right.
As let's say I came across with some family with the abusive manners. I made a report and they know it. They're kind of losing face.
Right.
They can come back to me. Not because of the angry of like what you're doing, but they're just losing their own faces.
Right.
So this is a big cultural thing. And also I think in Thai culture as well, I found it's different between Thai culture, let's say like Eastern culture, Asian culture, and the Westerners, is that we are not that much expressive compared to Westerners. When you are upset, like in Thai culture, I would say, we just keep it to suck it up, like you say.
Chill.
Yeah, just chill and suck it up. Sometimes it is that way. They are that way, but sometimes they're not.
Okay.
So yeah, but that's a big difference. It's the influence. So somehow we are more subtle. We're more subtle. Sometimes you really don't know what's happening behind the story. Yeah, we have cases with lots of marks on the body and everything. For Thai culture, that would be like they would deny it totally. They would deny it totally because they are afraid of losing face, getting jailed or accused or anything. But sometimes I found the cases from the other culture, let's say the Westerners, sometimes they said like, this is the way we do it. Right. Yeah, they are more eager to say so. They are not that subtle. This is just my experience. So answer Jesse's question again. Thai culture could be more subtle, could be underreported, could be more, covered by the culturally. So
Or if a parent gets reported, they
anonymous,
did it.
most of the time
It is
would be
anonymous.
anonymous,
Okay.
but somehow many of them, they know who made a report.
Okay.
They might have had like the issue before, they might came to that house before, and then they might talk to each other sometimes.
Right.
And they realize something, getting warned before.
Did-
Yeah, you for sure. Something like that. Yes.
All right. And at times I fear of disappointing the parents and sadness for the child in distress, under pressure. I think that was that the same person that spoke of and I can't even address that. They're feeling, addressing the parent, feeling disappointed in the parent. Okay. Hi, I would like to just add, even with the wide range of parenting resources and support online and in person, some parents continue to apply their personal beliefs and parenting styles to their children. How do you approach these situations, and how can we respectfully support parents in reconsidering their views? Now, again, this is more of a, even though the online, apply parenting styles. I mean, and this goes across cultures. It's not even just Thai. So I would say that you want to point out what the child is missing, not what they're doing wrong. So if a child is underperforming in any situation, you could say, hey, maybe we can work on the child in such a way. It's kind of more like identifying something very simple off the topic, even a child with a pacifier. I'll have a child with a pacifier, 2 and 3 years old with a pacifier. Culturally, I'm not sure if that, but in the US, it's like, no. But even so, I will address the parent and say, hey, it's not even just your child's too old. It has a physiological response to it. So I say, just say the letters A, B, C. This is something I actually do. A, your lips open up. B, your lips purse together, and it's some wind that comes out to perform the B. The C, hey, forget about it. You don't even see what's going on. It's the C, the tongue on the roof of the mouth, near the tooth. It's so much going on in unison between the lips, the cheeks, the tongue. If you have a pacifier stuck in your mouth, the child has no opportunity to practice, to use it. So that's kind of an example of, instead of saying, hey, you need to do this or don't do this, you want to show a practical reason why it's not appropriate or why it can harm the child, or, so that's kind of to that question. I hope I take that. All right. It doesn't really stay anonymous, like Arden said. If one person knows, the whole village knows. The reporters will get in trouble and no one can actually help them. Uh-oh. That's kind of what you said as well.
Yeah, right. This is what happened.
Yeah.
Yep. And so I would like to address Nui and UI at her experience. At times I have fear of disappointing the parents in sadness for its children and under pressure. This is somehow like someone's silly response, but it's actually not your responsibility.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Like, if you want to do, you're right there with them. You want to do what you can do, but then it's like,
sometimes
you gotta stay back.
Yeah, sometimes you cannot like really help them. Sometimes it's just out of your hands. All right, Jesse has a response.
Yeah, because I had a learner, I noticed the kid got bruises, and I asked the kid about the bruises, but the kid refused to speak. Because of the language barrier, I can't fully understand the kid. I advised my learner to report to the Thai teacher, but the kid refuses. That is why I'm stuck and I don't know what to do.
Okay. This is not culturally related, I would say, because of, most of the abuser and abused victims that they are close, so they have love-hate relationship, I would say, most of the time. So the victim usually do not reveal what happened because they know that they don't want to accuse someone they loved, even though they hate them sometimes. So even at the hospital myself, I have kids who have been abused by their moms. The kids are two of them. Yeah, somehow we asked the child protection officer to remove them from the mom, but still I don't know what happened. They still like keep the kids going back there because the kid has some bruises over his eyes and everything. So he got healed sometimes during the time. But still, the child protection officer also let him go back with his mom, and then later on, he came back with the bruises on his forehead or something. I made a notice again to the child protection officer. I even asked the kids what happened. I didn't even wait for him to tell me what happened. Right? The kid told me that he had a swimming class, and he just like swimming. And his head just bumped into the wall in the pool. He insisted that. So regardless of Thai culture or any culture, he tried to protect his mom because I know the mom did it. And not only him, I have so many cases that might take probably 3 or 4 visits that they would have trusted me to tell the story or something. But what Jesse do is very good to ask the kids to report it to the Thai teacher because of sometimes there's a barrier between the language or anything. But yeah, it would be helpful if sometimes the kids need someone to, the trusted one, the one that they trusted, they can talk to. Otherwise, they wouldn't reveal it. Yeah, this is so sad. I would say this is so sad, and this is pretty common. And yes, I if you saw that and you're suspicious, if you can talk to the Thai teacher and also even make a report to the school director as well.
Make the report because it sounds like the child is not going to mention, but also it could be, I know in the States or anywhere.
Yes.
If you tell someone my mom is hitting me.
Yeah.
When you come home, you're going to get it worse.
Exactly. That is why they need the protection. Or even some parents could have like, other faces to the society, to work in society. Good family, good background, good presentation or whatever. Yeah. And that happened too in any culture as well. We even have like the parents, not the parents, but the dad who killed his own kids.
That really happened here.
It happened in Thailand for many years, many kids, not just one, many kids. And one girl knows about it. One of his kids knows about it.
Right.
And she told the story to some other adults.
Right.
But the adults do not believe it. Even the police officer do not believe it.
Don't say they went back to the dad with the story.
Yeah. So this is sometimes later on she told the story to us, and then at first we are quite not sure as well because it sounds too much, sound too much to be true, too bad to be true, let's say. But eventually she insisted. She told the same story over and over. Then we made a report again to the police officer, and they found what the body and everything that the kid told. And it's all on the news in Thailand. So it's common for the kids not telling the story because they're not sure if the others will believe it or yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, they are very insecure and so many things. So thank you, Jesse.
Thank you, Jesse. Yeah. Oh, we're after 12. I think. We are at 12. Yeah. All right. Thank you again, everybody, and thank you for the questions. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for the question and answer. But before we close, for Thai participants who are interested in receiving a certificate for this conference, Safety Manager episode 22, please note that there is a free. You can watch the video to see the step how to apply for the certificate.
แอดมินแนะนำขั้นตอนหลังจบงานแลกเปลี่ยนเรียนรู้และจัดการความปลอดภัยครั้งที่ 22 วันพุธที่ 7 มกราคมนี้นะคะและทุกท่านที่ลงทะเบียนเรียบร้อยแล้วสามารถเข้ามาดำเนินการในระบบได้ ตั้งแต่วันนี้จนถึงวันศุกร์ที่ 16 มกราคมนี้เท่านั้นนะคะอันดับแรกเลยสำหรับท่านที่ยังไม่เคยเข้าใช้งานระบบสมาชิกเครือข่ายนี้มาก่อนให้กดที่ปุ่มสีน้ำเงินคำว่าสมัครสมาชิกกรอกข้อมูลในช่องที่มีดอกจันสีแดงให้ครบทุกข้อเสร็จแล้วกดคำว่าสมัครสมาชิกก่อนนะคะสมัครเพียงครั้งเดียวครั้งต่อไปท่านก็ล็อกอินเข้าสู่ระบบได้เลยค่ะล็อกอินโดยใช้อีเมลที่ท่านลงทะเบียนไว้นะคะแล้วก็รหัสผ่านปกติแล้วจะเป็นเบอร์โทรหรือว่าเป็นรหัสผ่านที่ท่านได้แก้ไขไว้ในระบบอย่าลืมกดปุ่ม I'm not a robot สี่เหลี่ยมนี้นะคะฉันไม่ใช่โปรแกรมอัตโนมัติเสร็จแล้วกดคำว่าเข้าสู่ระบบค่ะเมื่อเข้าสู่ระบบเสร็จเรียบร้อยแล้วนะคะให้ท่านกดที่ขีด3ขีดมุมบนขวามือแล้วก็กดที่ชื่อตัวเองหากใครเข้าผ่านคอมพิวเตอร์ก็กดที่ชื่อตัวเองได้เลยค่ะแล้วก็กดที่ปุ่มสีน้ำเงินสีชมพูนี้นะคะคำว่าดูหลักสูตรที่ลงทะเบียนหลังจากนั้นเลื่อนลงมาอีกทีนึงค่ะหากท่านลงทะเบียนเรียบร้อยแล้วในตารางหลักสูตรที่ลงทะเบียนแสดงรายการที่ท่านได้ลงทะเบียนไว้นะคะของวันที่ 7 มกราคมแล้วก็ชื่องานนี้ค่ะหากในตารางเนี่ยไม่มีรายการของงานอบรมวันนี้แสดงว่าท่านยังไม่ได้ลงทะเบียนต้องเข้าไปลงทะเบียนก่อนนะคะเมื่อเจอในตารางเรียบร้อยแล้วนะคะเลื่อนลงมาด้านล่างเลยค่ะให้ท่านเลือกหมวดนะคะแลกเปลี่ยนเรียนรู้นักจัดการความปลอดภัยแล้วก็เลื่อนลงมาค่ะกรณีที่ท่านนะคะเข้าเรียนผ่านระบบข้างนอกไม่ว่าจะเป็น Zoom หรือว่า Facebook Live นะคะโดยที่ท่านไม่ได้กดปุ่มเริ่มเรียนจากในระบบสมาชิกเครือข่ายนี้หลังจบงานอบรมท่านเข้าสู่ระบบและกดที่ปุ่มคำว่าเริ่มเรียนอีกครั้งหนึ่งกดตกลงค่ะหลังจากนั้นกลับไปที่หน้าเดิมอีกครั้งหนึ่งนะคะแล้วก็ทำแบบทดสอบแบบประเมินความพึงพอใจเมื่อท่านทำครบทั้ง3อย่างนี้แล้วชั่วโมงสะสมจะขึ้นในระบบให้ท่านสถานะการเข้าเรียนในตารางก็จะเปลี่ยนเป็นคำว่าเรียนแล้วค่ะหลังจากนั้นก็กดคำว่าประกาศนียบัตรได้เลยใบประกาศนียบัตรนะคะตามที่แจ้งไว้ในโปสเตอร์ประชาสัมพันธ์ค่ะหากท่านต้องการใบประกาศนียบัตรตัวจริงส่งทางไปรษณีย์และแบบไฟล์ดาวน์โหลดเองในระบบจะมีค่าใช้จ่ายในการจัดทำอยู่ที่200 บาทนะคะติ๊กถูกหน้าช่องสี่เหลี่ยมที่ท่านต้องการได้เลยค่ะหรือหากท่านต้องการเป็นไฟล์ใบประกาศนียบัตรแบบดาวน์โหลดเองในระบบนะคะอันนี้จะมีค่าใช้จ่ายในการจัดทำอยู่ที่60 บาทค่ะติ๊กถูกหน้าช่องสี่เหลี่ยมในรูปแบบที่ท่านต้องการได้เลยค่ะเสร็จแล้วเลื่อนลงมาด้านล่างนะคะออกใบเสร็จในนามอะไรพิมพ์ข้อมูลให้ถูกต้องกรอกที่อยู่ในการจัดส่งเอกสารให้ครบทุกช่องนะคะถึงแม้ท่านจะขอเป็นไฟล์แบบโหลดเองในระบบก็ต้องกรอกตรงนี้เพื่อให้ระบบทบทวนข้อมูลก่อนนะคะหลังจากนั้นตรวจสอบชื่อนามสกุลที่จะปรากฏอยู่บนใบประกาศของท่านหากยังไม่ถูกต้องให้คลิกเพื่อทำการแก้ไขข้อมูลส่วนตัวแต่ถ้าเกิดว่าถูกต้องแล้วเลื่อนลงมาด้านล่างกดคำว่าบันทึกได้เลยค่ะกดตกลงเมื่อบันทึกเรียบร้อยแล้วนะคะเลื่อนลงมาด้านล่างอีกทีนึงค่ะในช่องประวัติการขอใบประกาศจะมีข้อมูลขึ้นมาให้ท่านกดคำว่ายังไม่ชำระได้เลยค่ะเมื่อกดคำว่ายังไม่ชำระเสร็จแล้วให้ท่านกดรับ QR code แนะนำว่าให้ถ่ายภาพ QR code ไว้ในหน้าจอมือถือหลังจากนั้นเปิดแอปธนาคารใดก็ได้กดปุ่มสแกนจ่ายนะคะเมื่อสแกนจ่ายเรียบร้อยแล้วท่านไม่ต้องส่งสลิปเข้ามาในไลน์กลุ่มนะคะแต่ว่าให้ท่านเข้ามากดตรวจสอบในหน้านี้อีกครั้งหนึ่งค่ะกดตรวจสอบการชำระและกดตกลงเสร็จแล้วกลับไปที่หน้าประวัติการขอใบประกาศอีกครั้งหนึ่งนะคะเลื่อนลงมาด้านล่างเลยค่ะหากท่านชำระเงินแล้วนะคะในช่องชำระเงินเนี่ยค่ะจะขึ้นคำว่าชำระแล้วหากต้องการใบเสร็จท่านติ๊กที่คำว่าชำระแล้วจะมีใบเสร็จเด้งออกมาและช่องดาวน์โหลดนะคะจะมีรูปคลิปขึ้นมาท่านสามารถกดดาวน์โหลดไฟล์ใบประกาศนียบัตรออกไปได้เลยนะคะหรือหากท่านใดขอเป็นตัวจริงส่งทางไปรษณีย์รอระบบขอรับใบประกาศปิดในวันที่ 16 มกราคมสัปดาห์ถัดไปเจ้าหน้าที่จะดำเนินการจัดทำแล้วก็จัดส่งไปรษณีย์ให้ท่านตามที่อยู่ที่ท่านได้สมัครไว้ในระบบนะคะแนะนำให้เข้าผ่านเบราว์เซอร์ Google Chrome ค่ะเพื่อความเสถียรในการเข้าใช้งานระบบสมาชิกเครือข่ายนะคะหากมีคำถามเพิ่มเติมสอบถามในไลน์กลุ่มได้ขอบคุณค่ะ แอดมินแนะนำขั้นตอนหลังจบงานแลกเปลี่ยนเรียนรู้และจัดการความปลอดภัยครั้งที่ 22 วันพุธที่ 7 มกราคมนี้
As we come to the end of today's program, may I invite Dr. Chatchai to quote the conference for this time.
All right, ขอบคุณครับ Thank you very much for our special guest lecture, Ms. Ekoma from the US, which is from the EC as well. We had a very, very interactive today. Lots of discussion, lots of questions from the participants online as well. I think like this is one of the most like questions we have recently. Yeah. I think this is very, very important topics, and also from your perspective as well, which is very different from us. Yeah, we have, again, I would say that again, we have some different contexts, but lots of similarities still. I'm sorry. And again, please give a big hand to Ms. Keoma for the conference today. And thank you everyone online and on site here, every attendings and every staff here. ขอบคุณครับ แล้วเจอกันใหม่ครับ สวัสดีครับ